So whenever I make a bottle on the pottery wheel, I use 2.2 pounds of clay. These are for olive oil bottles. They are one of my most popular items in my shop. And I found that 2.2 just gives me enough room, and with the shrinkage, it comes out to be just right, at least for the bottles that I like to make, which are tall, narrow bottles. So just like any pot, I'm gonna start by centering it up by pushing down with my palms first to get it onto the wheel head here. And then I'm pushing into cone, keeping my palms straight up and down, forcing the clay up. And these, I like to give it a little bit of an extra cone with the bottom of my palms, using right here, going up and then down. To go down, I push forward. So to go down, I use this back part of my thumb and I push forward, and it lays the pot down. Clay down, I should say. It's not a pot yet. I like to go into it with my thumb and index finger. Eventually, just with my index finger, giving it a nice taper like this. It looks like this whenever I'm going down into the pot. Going out with my left middle finger. So what we're going for here is for a tall cylinder. So I'm going to push in the walls, getting it ready for the poles. Got my middle finger down here in the corner, and then I push in, and then I go up. The push in and going up are different pressures. You want to be sure to relieve some pressure whenever you start going up, and just, you're pulling up the clay. So you're pulling up the clay that you're pushing in at the bottom, so it's a different type of pressure. Last bit of clay down here at the bottom, up. And then it's a collar in. These bottles tend to shrink a whole bunch, so I make them quite big when they're wet. So I left some clay at the rim so that at the very end I can pull that up and then close that in. Using my metal rib, I like to start down here at the bottom and it's a rock upwards. This really straightens it out. It makes it nice and smooth. It takes off quite a bit of gunk, which is called slip. It's not really gunk, it's just wet clay. So for the spout, I like to cut it about right here, leaving enough of a wall so that the spout can go on. And I'm going to bring this up just a hair. To use my thumb to measure. Just so happens my thumb is a perfect size for this. A little less than 1 inch wide. So you're gonna have to do some measuring. You can also use a cork to measure this as well. Take this wire all the way through the bottom towards you. I like to spin it. And then I like to use my metal tool to scrape off all the excess clay on my hands. It should allow you to just grip on, and the little bit of moisture is gonna go into your hand, allowing you to pop it off. It should just come right off. So throwing bottles like this take a lot of practice. Just keep on practicing and working on that collaring in, and you should see quite a bit of progress. And just keep on practicing and practicing. It's really one of those things, and you're gonna have some trial and error when it comes to getting the right size on the spout. So here's a little bit of a finished product for y'all.